As a relationship between humans and seagulls has developed in the past years, seagulls have become the symbol of Brighton. In the past century, the fishing village has emerged into one of the biggest tourism resorts in the United Kingdom. Over 8 million people visit the tourist destination every year, which produced a significant amount of rubbish and the expansion of tourism industry in Brighton, affecting the seagull's health and habitat. The importance of seagulls in Brighton is reflected from the nickname of Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. Seagulls has always represented opportunity, resources, and adaptability.
The gulls here that you usually see are one particular species called herring gulls. You can recognise they're quite large and they have a pale grey back and a yellow beak with a little red spot on it and pink legs. So they're quite easy to recognise, and traditionally they lived in colonies in large groups where they laid their eggs on the ground, and they often followed fishing boats or went to fishing ports where people were bringing fish in. But now in Brighton they've changed their habits, so they don't live in such large groups because they nest on the roofs of buildings, and they don't go to fishing ports anymore. They mostly garbage, and sometimes they steal sandwiches and chips from people on the seafront, which makes a visit to Brighton a bit more exciting. It may seem amazing to people in Brighton, but the herring gull as a species is considered endangered in Britain because the population has declined. It's gone down so much in the last 20 years or so, and that's because they used to live around small fishing ports where people brought in fish and then they threw out the dead fish, and the gulls could eat them. Now they've stopped fishing in that way, so most places life is getting more difficult for herring gulls, but not in Brighton, and as you say, to some extent in other places where there's rubbish dumps, because they're able to adapt to this new kind of food supply. A lot of Brighton residents find the seagulls somewhat annoying, although we know from the name of the football club they're quite sentimental about them and they do see them as a symbol of the town.
It's very funny that we're called the Seagulls because it's an endearing name for Brighton Hove Albion, and yet so many people in Brighton don't like seagulls, so that's quite funny. They are nesting on people's roofs. Well, that's just a different way, because the cliffs aren't available, so they'll use roofs. That's because we've sort of pushed them out. If you have got a roof that they go onto, is just cover it with something that will stop them nesting there. Otherwise there's nothing you can do because they are protected. Well, I totally understand people find them annoying, a nuisance, and even hate them, but that's no excuse to harm them.